week we did the table assembly for the Harvest Right freeze dryer. Today we have our baby here with us, and I'm going to do something a little fun and frivolous because I was just excited about, you see people doing candies and all kinds of different things, and I did run some Skittles. I couldn't stand it, and I had to run some Skittles, and they were so much fun and super delicious. Everybody loved them. What a difference from going from gummy to crunchy. But one of the things I was really excited about doing was Jello, freeze drying Jello. I thought, what a kick! How funny is that? And just to try some different fun stuff to have in the house. One of the things that I have done is I have invested in some accessories, and I do a lot of ice cube freezing, so to speak. I've taken and made pesto cubes. I will juice my lemons, limes, and oranges and freeze them in ice cube trays. I use ice cube trays a lot for freezing and now dehydrating. What I wanted to do and make sure with a lot of the stuff that I'm putting in the freeze dryer is one of the most important things is that when you are filling your trays, that everything is even. You don't want a big bulky something in there and then something that's thinner, because you're not going to get a true freeze on everything. So I've been pretty meticulous about reading the instruction manual. It's super simple to read. They spell everything out, and following the directions. You will hear some people talk about, I don't know a better way to put it, time cheating things. I'm not going to do that. You're not going to see that here. Feel free to do what you want to do, but I feel like if I want to freeze dry a candy, I'm going to freeze dry a candy from beginning to end of the cycle. It just is what it is. This is an investment, and I want to keep it that way, and I'm afraid to play with things that other folks do. So if you're looking for tips and tricks that are cheating time on a freeze dryer, you're not going to find those here, but there are plenty of people that offer that information. So one of the things I like to do to get things even is use ice cube trays. These are really cool, and I'll put the link below because I don't know if you can see this, but they have a silicone bottom. So whatever you put inside, you can press out. Now I will say, when I did the Jello, I still had to put a little knife around here because, well, Jello's sticky. So I got them pretty much in the size I wanted, and then I cut them in half, and I'll show them to you when I bring them out. But this still gave me the portion control that I was looking for to get the even sizes on the tray. So that's one of the things to remember. Also, pre-freezing your foods is a huge time saver that's acceptable with Harvest Right to do. If you pre-freeze your food, when you put it in the freeze dryer, you don't spend as much power getting everything up to temperature. It's already cold. Now the unit's just getting itself to temperature to catch up to the food you put in. So I typically try to pre-freeze everything I make. And we're using our, we have a chest freezer, and that's what I'm using to do it, because our upright freezer is just jam-packed full of stuff. So I will also show you how I stack my trays in the freezer. And again, the accessories that I show you throughout these videos will be linked below for you to get some if you're interested in accessories. So these come in handy for all kinds of things, not just freeze drying like I said, but I really love them. So what is one of the first things we're going to do? We're going to turn the unit on, which is very simple. It's already plugged in. I have a fan running down here on the oil pump because I grew up in a machine shop, and I learned as a little kid, when you have a pump running, they tend to get hot, and putting a fan on it helps the pump life and longevity. Anything I can do to make things easy for me and not have to replace expensive parts, I'm going to do. So a fan it is. And the table that I built and showed you in the other video, which I'll also link below, fits everything I need perfectly below, including when I go to do an oil change, which I'll make a video for down the road. It's the perfect height to open up the pump and have it drain right into the bucket. So I'll show you another one on how to change the oil. But for right now, what we're going to do is we're going to turn it on. You're going to see the light pop on here in a minute. And there we are. And it's loading the software. I don't mess with times. About the only customize I'll do is if I realize, and I've been keeping a log, if I realize that something that I am freeze drying is going to end at 3 o'clock in the morning, I don't want the cute little bell to go off at 3 o'clock in the morning. So I will, when I load, increase the dry time. How do you know when it's going to end? Well, you keep a book, and that's what I've been doing. I'm keeping a log. So I have an approximate idea of when things end, how they worked, when I need to change the oil, because I'll number each item that I have in the book. And so that's a great way to know when you need to change your oil. I got the Premier pump. I spent the extra money. I think they come now with the unit. You don't need to change the oil unless it looks a little cloudy. Other than that, between 20 and 30 uses. I hit mine at 28 and decided I was going to go ahead and change. To me, it looked a little cloudy. I might have been helicoptering it, but I want to make sure that it's okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do the pre-freeze, what I was talking about. It's going to get this up to temperature. So you lock the door, and it goes around the seal here. You hit start, and it's cooling the vacuum chamber, and you wait 15 minutes until you load your trays. My trays are pre-frozen, so when I put them in, it won't lower the temperature. We'll be ready to rock. So I'm going to go off in the other room, take a little break for 15 minutes. When we come back, we'll be loading those trays, and I'll show you what the Jello looks like. We'll be right back. Here I am. All right, so these are the frozen bits. As you can see, I cut the ice cube size in half. We are now at freezing temperature. I need to close the drain valve, which is back over here. And you want to make absolutely sure you close your drain valve. You do not want it to be open. When you're all finished, you open the drain valve, and all the water that it pulled out during the sublimation process will come out into the 5-gallon bucket that you best have below it. So I open up the unit. You simply load your trays. In this case, I did, as I said, strawberry and lime. These are my little, if you want to come in here, Sam, these are my tray stackers. So as you can see, I can put this whole system inside my chest freezer and have 5 trays freezing at once. If anybody's wondering, this is a large unit. The large unit runs on 220 volts, which is why it is here in Gigi's laundry room. My house is going to be solar, and therefore I will not be able to run this unit on solar power. It needed its own dedicated 20 amp circuit. So doing both flavors, I kind of put some on one tray. I just made it work, get everything fit onto a tray. So let's get all of these trays in here. I will also have a link for these stackers. It's so nice because it gives you room between the trays for things that could be a little bit taller. Typically you don't want things to go over the top of the tray. That's a no-no. But these are tall enough that I don't want to set a tray on top of something else, especially if it's sour cream or something. What a mess. All right, so we closed our valve. The units do not come with these pillows. The old units did. I'll do anything to save a little bit of electricity, so I feel that putting this pillow in here helps contain the chill that's on the inside. So I bought, and I'll put a link to another pillow to use in here, but they come without them. You can use yours just as is. I'm just trying to hedge my bets and make sure that everything goes as quickly and easily and isn't hard on the machine. So here we are. We close the drain valve. We push continue. It says it's freezing. I take my book. I go into my log. I write down what time we started, and then we'll know when the Jello's done, the next time we go to freeze dry some, about how long it will take so we don't have that 3 in the morning wake up call. So we'll be back and see what these suckers are going to do, because I really don't know how they'll taste or how they're going to form. I know with freeze drying other candies, things kind of tend to pop. So I'm guessing we're going to have a little pop going on here. In the meantime, I'm going to go sit on the porch, have a little sip of kombucha, and relax while this happens. Okay, so you can hear the machine is still going. Actually, what's running is the pump. I had to increase the drying time because it was going to end about 3 in the morning. This run went about 7 hours, but I had to add more time because 3 in the morning just was not when I was going to get up and mess around with Jello snacks. So I'm going to shut the system off. I'll just hit cancel. You can hear the pump go off. And I'm going to go ahead, it says drying canceled, process complete. And I'm going to go ahead and hit no defrost. I just use room temperature to defrost. I want to save on money. I don't want to run the system to defrost. And I also found that I ran it one time on the defrost, on the automatic defrost when you hit it, and it took just about as long. So I felt, why put more wear and tear on the machine running defrost when I can just open the door, and the fan that I'm using on the pump I put up here to defrost the system. So that's how I do it. So I'm going to open the drain valve over here. So you hear all the air that was vacuumed out of there coming out. And what's going to happen is the drain is now going to take all the water that the sublimation, the process of freeze drying, took out of the product. It's going to dump it in the 5-gallon bucket that I have down here. So while that's going on, I'm just going to open this up. We'll pull out our pad and we'll see what we've got. Well, the trays are warm, that's what you want. They're a little squishy. Oh, that's okay. Well, a little squishy. A little crunchy. Still gooey in the middle. Very sweet. Tastes just like Jello. This tastes just like strawberry. Here's the lime. I like the bite sizes a lot. This is not something that I'm going to vacuum bag or anything because I'm just going to leave it out as a treat to grab. That's fun. I like that. The smaller bits are crunchy all the way through. I'd say it's almost like, well, like really good tasting styrofoam. They certainly didn't get any bigger. I had a feeling that they might have puffed up, but they didn't. They did retain their shape. So I think this is going to be a fun bit of candy to have in the house. We all know that gelatin is excellent for your fingernails. I know whenever I eat Jello or any kind of a gelatin item that we might make, I feel it in my fingernails right away. They get stronger, so that's cool because I don't have strong fingernails at all. So that was fun. This is whimsical for me. I don't really do a lot of candies and stuff. It was the most exciting thing when I got it. Is like, oh boy, I can't wait to do candy. And like I said, I ran the Skittles. That was fun. I've got enough to last a lifetime. And doing the Jello, but I'm really looking forward to doing more powders and flavorings and things like that you'll probably end up seeing in the store on 5 Dog Farm at some point. I love flavorings. I hate chemicals, so I wanted to do something that I knew was healthy and didn't have a bunch of junk in it. So I've started with a green onion dip mix. Will probably be coming to the store soon that you can put on French fries or homemade potato chips, or I use it on popcorn, which is delicious. And I want to be formulating some other types of things as well. So anyway, here is freeze-dried Jello. If you're interested in making it, it is tasty. It does sort of get that chewy feeling after you get through the crunch, which is a lot of fun with freeze-dried foods. If you haven't done kiwis or anything, those are a lot of fun too. They still keep their sweet and their tart when you're eating them. And strawberries are incredible. The strawberry flavor that you get is just so deep and huge. It's delicious. So this has been a joy. I'm loving every minute of it. If you're interested in getting a freeze dryer, on my blog I have an affiliate link, and I'll see if I can post it below as well, that helps me along by giving me a few dollars for helping you get out there and get started on your freeze drying path. So here we go, freeze dried Jello. Let me know if you've done anything like this and how yours turned out. I love to hear everybody's stories. There's so many different things to do out there and so many different things to try. So I thank all of you for watching. This is Nikki D at 5 Dog Farm, and I'll talk to you soon. So I was here cleaning up and Sam came in and I said, here, go ahead and give this a try. I'm not a real sweets person, so I may have given you guys the idea that, well, at least for somebody who's not a real sweets person, this is okay. I probably would do it again because, I think I'd rather have Jello in its regular form. But Sam said she felt it tasted sort of like dried cotton candy, which I think is a good analogy. It's got that crispy edge to it, but still the light and fluffy. So I just wanted to come back and say that, give you more of an idea of exactly how it felt, because I couldn't quite put my finger on it or my taste buds, and I think she hit the nail on the head. Sort of a crispy cotton candy feel with intense flavor. So if you like Jello, that definitely is something that you should try.